Hey, ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Frieren. And after this week, we're going to have one more episode left before the end of the series. Hopefully, just season 1. Please give us season 2. We're gonna talk more about that next week. But with this episode, just how good this series is just amplifies it even more, because, well, last week we had all of the hype, the fighting, there happening, the animation, the choreography, everything, the climax of that exam, them working together, everything coming together also with all of the new characters that we've had introduced in this arc. This episode focused even more on the relationship between Frieren and Fern, that of master and student, but also the family they have become together. And I kinda missed Stark, but Zeria plays a big part in this episode, so let's get into it and talk about it. Now, I liked at the start of the episode how Stark was still with that old guy, and that guy was preaching that yes, I've taught you many things. But I kind of missed Stark, honestly, and seeing the interactions between him and Fern, again, her pouting after she fought with Frieren comes. I kind of like that. Stark is like her comfort person in a way, comes in to vent with him after she got into it with Frieren over repairing or not repairing her stuff. That I kind of knew a bit where this one was going to lead into. And I love it. I get very emotional over things like this. We see how much she cared over her staff being from Aether there. We also see bit of how the others are dealing with the aftermath of the exam. Lavigne being sad that she had to fail, and this time she lets Kane comfort her with the headpad after all of the bickering they had throughout the series, some of the funniest moments. But they're gonna be able to try again in 3 years. Now, Frieren, we see it throughout all of the other scene. She gathered the pieces from Fern's staff. But before we get into that, we have Denken is honestly one of my favorite characters in the series. And I also am starting to like Richter more, because Denken being with Richter there, keeping company, trying to comfort him, trying to... I like how Richter was trying to get under Denken's skin. And probably the easiest way to get under somebody else's skin where they're trying to annoy you is just to agree with them. Richter tried to annoy Denken, and Denken, yeah, you're right, you shouldn't agree with me. That I love when scenes like that, and you can even do it. It's very easy. When people try to annoy you, just agree with them. Annoys them even more. I love that. But there, Denken also kind of sees himself a bit into Richter. And I hope we get to see more of them with the characters after this arc, and hopefully in season 2, because after that we have Frieren coming in to repair the stuff at Richter shop there, and kind of goads him, provokes him. Oh, you can do it, right, okay, I know. And he starts fixing it, even though he called it trash. He realized after that how cared for that stuff was, and actually apologizes for calling it trash. I love moments like that. It shows how important a memento something can be for somebody else, and it's very easy to just buy a new one, but the sentimental value, it's a lot more important than its monetary value, for example, there. And meanwhile, Stark and Fern, him having to comfort her, they're great together. So at some point I hope they get married. Come on, this has been driven since the beginning of the series there, and they're great there. And they run into Richter. He kind of tells them what Frieren did with the stuff and repairing it there, and Fern, after going back home, remember some wise words from Hyter, how he told her that Frieren struggles with emotions, but she also cares the most out of everybody, so she's gonna be a great master, which is very true. Frieren is not an emotionless character, probably feels emotions the most, but she just doesn't know how to express herself, deal with them, or how to put herself into other shoes from her perspective, which is pretty much the entire point of this show. Somebody long-lived having to learn that skill there, and that was such an emotional moment. Fern realizing that, taking care of Sleepy Frieren, the faces there, and yeah, very, very good first half of the show here. Now we get into the main part of the episode with the third test, and Zarya is there telling Sensei that too many passed, and probably thanks to Frieren she kind of skewed the exam. A lot more would have died or failed if she wasn't there, which is very true, but also goes to show that maybe they, in my opinion, I feel like they should redo the way they have these exams, like prepare people more for the exam, teach them more, have them cooperate a lot more. That should be more important. Of course, individual skill is also very, very important, but at some point you also need teamwork, especially how they had it here in this exam that we had in the dungeon there. But Zarya also says she's gonna take care of the last exam, she's gonna be the proctor, and we have a conversation with the first one that became first class mage, Lernan, saying he noticed Frieren's mana fluctuations by chance when they first met. We saw it when the exam began, and he says Frieren has equal mana to Zarya, at least for now. We're gonna get into that. Now, what I liked was Flash, the guy that said, yeah, that's not true. I looked at it, I didn't see anything, which kind of shows both perspectives. Somebody could see something, somebody doesn't see something, and you just go ahead based only on your opinion. You think you know better everything. Falchower being dead out wrong, he said everything with confidence, he was correct, but he also said even if this is possible, it's just an impractical skill, and calling it a waste of time. No, Zarya said yes, technically it is a waste of time. Could have focused on being stronger in other areas, and Frieren very much could do so. We see she has some very easy fixable mistakes in her power, in her magic. I'm kind of curious if Frieren put more time into training herself. I would like to see that. How powerful would she be, like if she just focused on training fully, like going through a training arc? Imagine Frieren doing that. But apparently only the Demon King saw through that when they fought, and right now learn, and either he was modest or it just happened, something happened for him to see it there. And I like how Zarya is always you're always the same, talking to Learn, and always that timid boy, you never change, and my regret is that you have a short life and you're probably never going to get to fight Frieren, even though you could win. That's high praise. I think he might be more skilled, I don't know about more powerful, but as we know, Frieren has lost against humans and demons alike. But also funny thing, Zarya saying I shouldn't get more human apprentices, but she had Flamme, she had Learn, and also she probably has some other, so she has a type. She can help herself when she sees a promising mage, and we're gonna get more into that there. And she makes a comment even after she leaves the room, that boy even now didn't see the mana fluctuations of my own, referring to her mana, and it's huge, it's mega giga huge. I'm really curious how much of a difference is between Zarya and Frieren. I'd love to see that. But here we see the bit of a differences of perspectives and things even more between Zarya and Frieren. Frieren knowing that Zarya was gonna fail her either way, nothing mattered whatever she said, because Frieren is going kind of against how Zarya believes the proper mage should be. They have a difference of philosophies, difference of looking at things there, and we start seeing the beginning of the last exam. Kane walks in, she was scared of Zarya's mana, and Zarya says, hey, you can't visualize yourself, you can visualize yourself being a first class mage. She fell, sir, unfortunately. Kane also fell, so I hope they're gonna be able to take the exam again, Kane and Levine, in 3 years, with Richter also. Imagine them working together instead of fighting, and after that, one after the other, fell. I'm curious how many passed towards the end. And Frieren's turn comes in, and Zere is like, you also can't imagine yourself being a first class mage, but because of different reasons. Because of me, you can't imagine me passing the exam. And again, conversations are so good, the writing is so good in the series between them, Zeri and Frieren, how we had it even in that flashbacks, saw a glimpse with how they view things differently, and how much as Zeria says she didn't care about Flamme, she very much cared for, knew her favorite spell, everything there, and them looking at things, that scene there where Frieren was looking at the future, Zeria was still looking at the past, how things should be, and here we see an expansion of that conversation there, Zeria asking her, what's your favorite spell? Spell to create a flower field, the one that Flamme taught her, and instantly you fail, Frieren. So Frieren failed the exam there, and Zeria tried to get under her skin, saying, how did you defeat the Demon King? I can't see you doing that with the way you are. I wasn't alone. I had good comrades, and that's very, very true. That was a team effort. Himmel, Heiter, Eisen, them working together, and we see something I love always, a flashback, but the lesson here from this flashback, and how Himmel decided to recruit Frieren when she asked him, why did you recruit me? You're just a powerful mage. And apparently they met before, Himmel getting lost into a forest there alone, scared, and this random elf shows up, just points to the direction, doesn't say anything, helps him, and gives him kind of hope a bit in a way, creating that flower field. And of course she didn't remember this when they met the second time, or after that. It was just a random encounter for her, it didn't mean, but for Himmel it probably changed the course of his life. And something as small as just creating flowers, something small, useless, seen by others as useless, can have such a huge impact. Same as the staff at the beginning. Sentiments, emotions, the value put on something that cares for you might not care for somebody else, but the important thing is how you view things there, and that's how he started caring for her probably, and he fell in love with magic, and Frieren saying that useless spell brought them together, and thanks to that, hey, they defeated the Demon King. Just that spell was basically the catalyst for this entire thing, something viewed as useless there, which kind of shows, even if you think you know everything, you just know a part of something. Zeri has a point with her perspective, how should be strong, focus on other things, sure, but Frieren also has a very different perspective. Both of them can be right and wrong at the same time, but here we see how much faith Frieren has in Fern there, and telling Zeri she will exceed your expectations. The era of humans is coming there. And then we have Fern walking in instantly, looking like a kid in a candy store, amazed seeing the actual mana fluctuations of Seri. And she was surprised there, to say the least, and instantly, despite of everything she has said so far, be my student, I want you there. And Fern, no, I'm sorry, no, without a sorry. Yeah, of course, she just flat out refused, and see a bit of a coaching before the interrogation there, how Frieren told her, don't give in to her demands, she will pass you because of her intuition, and her intuition is always right. Every time she sees a promising mage, doesn't matter anything else, and that's true. Fern passes. So, yeah. I can't wait for more. For now, I have only one more episode, but hey, at least now they have a first-class mage. They can cross there, move forward with the journey, but it feels like a long time has passed, but also it feels like we're just at the beginning right now. And Frieren has been amazing, and next week, one more episode. We're gonna talk more about the series overall then, but yeah. Awesome episode, great way to end the last third exam there after the heavy action pack that we had the last few episodes, and this is why pacing is very important and downtime. You can't just slam action, everything there, especially in a series with the themes like this and characters and everything, emotions behind Frieren. So yeah, great episode. Let me know down comments below what you guys thought about it, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So make sure you also check out the podcast Because Anime, and I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.